Yes, because it is not like the normal ones that I'm going to Moscow.
Uh-huh.
This is the first time that I have to make PCR for three times. I did PCR three times.
Oh
First
my
one,
God. Why?
yes. Why? Because the authorities in Baghdad airport requested you to make PCR before getting the abroad here in Baghdad. And when you
Okay.
arrived to your last destination at
Mm-hmm.
Muscat, you have to make PCR before you are putting your feet inside the Muscat as a capital. And when I'm going to return back to Baghdad,
Mm-hmm.
I have to do another one trial of PCR before getting abroad for the airplane
Wow.
that's going from Muscat to Baghdad.
But that's exhausting.
Yes,
And
that's exhausting.
how did it go? Like the whole trip? Like tell me in details what happened in the first day, the second day. What kind of
Yes,
activities did you do the first day?
yeah, I want to tell you first of all about the longer trip this time because different about the normal one.
Hmm?
I spent 17 hours in the going for Muscat and 14 hours in the return back to Baghdad. And this
Oh my
is
God.
not, yes, this is just like the period that I have to spend when I'm going
Uh-huh.
from Baghdad to New York,
Oh
and
my God.
it
Yeah,
is
it's
abnormal case, and wallahi, it was yeah, not logic one, not
but
logic one.
remember I think let's be clear that you're traveling in a very critical time of the year. First, it's the
Yes,
end of the
yes,
year,
yes,
it's the Christmas time,
yes,
it's COVID-19, a new mutant strain of
yes.
COVID-19 um is outbreaking out
Hmm.
of certain countries like London, UK,
Yes,
Holland,
Italy,
and Denmark,
Italy.
and
Yes,
Australia. And
yes,
countries are really terrified and afraid of, you know, uh, curbing the spread
yes.
of the new mutant strain of this virus and its whole chaos. So you're
Yes, you're
traveling
right.
in a very in,
Abnormal
in
situation.
in a very abnormal
Yes.
kind of circumstances, and that should be taken in consideration.
But
I think that's the.
you know,
Mhm.
Walid, one of the most important observations that I observed in this trip, the people that I have faced, wherever in Baghdad or in Muscat or in the Transarea Dubai, the people
Uh-huh.
do not commit. Really, do not commit. 90% of the people do not commit regardless their nationality, regardless their age, regardless their um, education level,
Mhm.
especially the Indian and the people from Bangladesh. Uh,
Mhm.
they are very huge population in the Arab Gulf countries. They do not comment on the sport safety, red sport safety places that they are putting on the end on the land of the airport. You have to put your feet on this spot, and there is 2 meters between this spot and the other one.
Mhm.
No, there is no any committing with these instructions. Each one
Mhm.
stick with the other bag of the other one. Really, something crazy.
It's I know
I
it's
didn't
I
stand in the
mean
queue of the passport. I didn't
mm,
stand in the queue of the PCR samples collecting and ask one of the responsible guys in the Muscat airport. I told him that
mhm.
I'm a doctor and I cannot stand in this abnormal, miserable queue. These
Mhm.
people want to get coronavirus. And it is something funny that they are standing in this queue to make PCR to to check if they are getting coronavirus or not. They are getting coronavirus because of this standing. I cannot put myself in this queue. So, Alhamdulillah, he took me from my hand and get me out of this queue and called his friend or his colleague and told him that
his
this guy,
whatever.
yes, his whatever, this guy is talking right and he's a doctor, so please do the PCR for him fastly as soon as possible, regardless the queue. So Alhamdulillah, but this process took
Thankfully.
from me 2 hours.
Oh my God.
2 hours.
That's crazy.
Yes, crazy. And
Okay.
the other
Well,
details of the trip was where they canceled my phone number over there in Oman. They canceled
why
my
would they cancel your phone number?
because I have to recharge the phone number in a period less than 6 months, and I'm now more than 10 months outside Muscat, so they canceled. And also
Oh, they canceled your local Omani
yes,
number.
yes, my number, and also they not canceled, but they stopped my bank card and stopped
Bank?
my Visa card,
Mm-hmm.
and also they stopped my my license as a pharmacist over there. And also it was a problem in my residence card also because I had to enter Muscat at September 1, and I went at 12th of December. So everything was complicated, stopped, cancelled, something like that. But Alhamdulillah, I could fix everything, and it was very interested trip because this is the first time that I have faced all these problems in one package. Alhamdulillah.
And how about the kind of work that you did there? I'm very curious to know what
I
kind
have
of activities. But
yeah.
I prefer if you focus on more details on the things that are related and relevant to your work, to your
Yes.
field. I
Look,
think.
Walid, I have no work there in Oman. I went to Oman 2015 to attend the prometric exam, which is an American exam to get the when you attend this exam you and pass it successfully, you can work in your specialist or specialty in Oman. So according to that to the result of that exam, when I pass it, I got the license to work as a pharmacist over there. But unfortunately, 2015 till now, after 5 years of residency, of continuous residency in Oman, I couldn't get any work in any pharmacy, in any company. Why? Because there is an invasion of Egyptian and Indian people as pharmacists in that country, as well as in all the Arab Gulf countries. You cannot find any opportunity to work in any company because that opportunity is for the Egyptian guy and for Indian one.
Well, that's
So,
because they are taking the opportunity in there themselves. I think.
for two reasons, Walid, to be honest, because the heads of the companies over there are
Are Egyptian and
from Egypt and Indian, wallahi, and
they are
they
they are biased to
yes,
their
yes,
citizens,
they are
their
covering,
fellows.
they are covering and hiding
Uh-huh.
the opportunities for their nationalities.
That's
And the other
that's
reason, the Egyptian guy or the Egyptian pharmacist, to be more accurate, the Egyptian pharmacist and the Indian pharmacist receive or accept a salary more or less than other nationality, especially for Iraqi. If we say that the Iraqi, for example, take $1,000,
Okay.
the Indian pharmacist or the Egyptian one accept 300.
Well,
300.
I think that is well, first of all, let's look at the geopolitical situation of India and Indian continent
Mhm.
and Egypt.
Yeah.
India has big population. It's almost
Yeah.
a continent,
Yes. Yes.
and people are rarely having any kind of chance to work.
You are
And
right.
as far as I heard from news, that people even sometimes rent a tree shade to
Yes. Yes.
sleep
Yes.
to
Yes.
sleep
Yes.
under because
Yes.
the country is full of people.
Hmm.
Egypt has more than probably 90 million citizens,
Yes.
and that population, is crazy number.
Yes.
This
Yes. Yes.
population
Yes.
is crazy number
Yes.
of people
Yes.
to escape the country because lack of job opportunities. So
Mhm.
probably I mean, they will definitely accept any job offer
Mhm.
abroad, especially in a country like Oman.
Mhm. You know
Additionally, hmm?
sorry, the
Yeah, go
Indian
ahead.
the Indian what Indian doing in Muscat for saving money? All three
What do
or
they do?
four, yes, all three or four families take one apartment and share it in living. One
Hmm.
apartment of a three rooms or a four rooms, each family in a room,
Hmm.
and
Oh,
maybe
wow.
separating the apartment from inside by curtains. Each
Hmm.
family put in a curtain in front of the door.
Hmm.
While the Egyptian people, what they are doing, they choose far away building from Muscat
Hmm.
because it's cheapest in rent. Cheapest in rent. When you choose a flat or apartment inside Muscat, in the town down of Muscat, for example, you have to pay $500 per month. But when you choose far away apartment or building outside Muscat, maybe you have to pay $100. But he withstand the driving for 1 or 2 hours from outside Muscat to the middle of Muscat to saving $400 per month.
I think that's, I mean, have you been to United States before?
No,
Okay, well, if you go to United States and you go to New
I
York or
hope.
Washington, D.C.,
I hope.
it's not a big deal. It's a country. Um let's think of it that way. It's
Mhm,
not what you expect.
mhm,
It's a country like any other country, and well, it's not a country. It's geography, not a
mhm.
country. I think
Yes,
it's the politics that created this kind of difference between France
you are right.
geography and
Yes,
Iraq geography.
yes.
If you travel to California,
Mm.
it is a copy paste of the road in Jabal Hamreen and Hamreen Mountains that take you to Erbil. It's
Oh,
very similar to that area in California. If you go to Washington, D.C., or you go to New York,
mhm.
the topography, the geography is different, but it's pretty much the same piece of earth that any other pieces of earth in this
Mhm,
world.
mhm.
Um, it's only politics that has changed this perception of New York or Washington, D.C.
You are
However,
right.
however,
You are
comma,
right.
comma,
Mhm.
pun intentioned. um, however, comma,
Yes, I
New
have to pay
York, New
attention for
York,
that.
New York, and Washington D.C. Has big uh, Egyptian immigrants, big population of
Even
Egyptian
there,
immigrants,
even there.
and
Very good.
they use an expression called diaspora. I think you should learn this word,
Diaspora.
diaspora.
Okay.
Diaspora. Diaspora. Diaspora is like people who live away from their home, like their country, in New York, and they are selling sausage. Lots of people, lots of Egyptians in the streets of New York sell sausage. They have kiosks, they have shops, they have restaurants. They are taking everything there. And they're trying to make a living out of nothing, you know? So
Yeah.
the idea is that people are working hard to make a living, to earn a living, to live and
Yes.
sustain living, even if that requires them to not eat for the whole day or eat one meal.
You're right.
Now,
Yes.
what they do in New York, they drink from tap water. They don't buy water, and
Okay.
they drink from tap water, and they eat one meal, usually from Subway.
Oof.
And not to say it's bad or anything, but they're just saving money because New York is very
Yes.
expensive. Like the the apartment downtown New York goes between $3,000 to $10,000 per month,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really expensive. So they need to share or they need to commute
Mm-hmm.
by trains from distant areas where there is high working labor
Mm-hmm.
to ensure that they're paying less money and saving the rest of their payment
Mm-hmm.
to earn to do something else. They work in universities, they volunteer, they do lots of academic work. If you go to pharmacies in New York, you find lots of African American people and African immigrants working in there as pharmacists and doctors. Health insurance companies do the same. If you go to hotels, you find that most of hotels are either owned or run by Indian
Mm-hmm.
immigrants
Mm-hmm.
or Indian American or second generation Indian. Do you know second generation Indian? Have you heard
Uh,
this expression before?
yes, I heard it, but I
It's
really do not know
it's
the
a
meaning.
it's an it means that the person is born in the United States to an Indian family. So they
Mm.
are the second generation of
Ah,
immigrants who
yes,
settled in the United States.
yes.
If you hear people talking about second generation Iraqi citizen, American citizen, it
Mm-hmm.
means that he was
The
born in the United
Iraqis
States to an
that
Iraqi
born in
family.
United States. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's stop talking about your trip, but I
Yes.
definitely am curious to learn more. And I mean, I don't know why people don't document their trips there. I mean, you can grab a camera and shoot and document everything out there. I know that you are busy, but I'm not going to ask any more questions about that because we have time
No,
constraints
I
here.
want to tell you one more thing. One more thing.
Yeah, please.
Uh,
One more
uh, uh,
thing. Yeah,
yes,
go
one
ahead.
more
I
thing.
would love to hear.
Thank you, Waleed. Just 1 minute. It is the first time that I took my laptop with me when I'm traveling outside Iraq. And the reason
Mhm.
behind that was to doing my task with you. I was very interested to put my laptop in the room in the hotel and to start making my task in the attempt first trial of writing.
Some
And
some people believe that parents of children who attend private schools should not need contribute to state. Is this the one you're talking about?
no, 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 no. But sorry, what is your question?
Do you mean the task number 3 where I
Yeah,
asked
yeah,
you
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah,
write
yeah,
an
yes.
essay?
Yes, the
Okay.
families, the rich families that
Hmm.
what I am agree or not, they are
Hmm.
paying the fees as a taxes. But I'm talking about my laptop. But because I was very busy the 3 or 4 days over there in Moscow, so I didn't open my laptop. So that the reason that I postponed the meeting for twice. So I'm very sorry about that, Walid. And
You don't
this
have,
is
you definitely don't have to be sorry. I think
thank you.
um, I think the idea of doing it at our free time is just outweighing
Yes.
the time that you spend there, because you've got to take care of the work that you've done there and make
Yes.
sure to do it the best of what you can.
Thank
Uh,
you.
I wanted to ask you about how they think of people in Iraq and how you deal with things in
Oh,
there and what kind of activities you've done there. I know we're taking much of time of the
mhm,
meeting to not talk about what's pertaining to it, the meeting, but I would
mhm.
love to hear your insights on that part.
Look, first of all, the Omani people respect and love the Iraqi people too much.
Hmm.
When he always I'm facing this this sense, especially in the taxi. All taxi driver there in Oman from Omani people because they have something known as Omanization. So they
Hmm.
apply the Omanization system on the taxi driver. They do not allow any other nationality to drive the taxi rather than the Omani people. So
Why is
all
that?
um, it is opportunity for livelihood, something of
Hmm.
livelihood for the Omani people, and other
Okay.
thing, the taxi driver is like a policeman. He is
Hmm.
listening from the customer and talking too much with the customer, so
Hmm.
he can do more thing for his security. I think that. I think that.
Okay, or maybe there's some security agencies who hire
Yes.
taxi drivers to collect information for the
Yeah, yeah.
security of the
Yeah,
country, of course.
yeah. So always they ask me where I am from. I didn't
Okay.
answer directly. I replied
Hmm.
them to expect. So they are looking for my face. This is before before wearing the mask, looking for my mustache
Okay.
and my my brown color, something like that. They talking about. They said Jordanian. I said no.
Hmm.
From Saudi Arabia. I said no. From Kuwait. No, 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 no. They didn't expect that I'm from Iraq. When I said I'm from Iraq, you cannot
Hmm.
imagine the reaction of them. Someone one day told me directly when I replied him that I'm from Iraq. He said, "You are on my head. You are on my head. You are a great people, a great country."
Hmm.
Wallahi, they are loving the Iraqi people too much, too much.
I, uh, it happens to me also when I travel. I mean, I remember I was in New York,
Mhm.
and I mean, lots of taxi drivers are very curious. This is their habit. They're curious that if they see that you're carrying a bag, they ask you what's in the bag, or like they
Ah,
ask lots of questions. But it
ah,
depends on the district and where we're taking the taxi from.
mm.
Usually, they tell me you're either from Israel or from Saudi Arabia. And I say, how do you know? And they say, well, you have a big nose. So that's I mean that funny situation happens to me all the time. Going to something that I wanted to share with you here, I think this is an absolute necessity because this is covering part of the task that we are talking about today. Just click on the link here if you're opening the
Let
document
me
from.
ask a question before going to the task, Walid.
Yes, sir.
Um, Thank you. You asked me that if I'm ready to apply for the test of ielts at
Hmm.
January 2021. Do you think that I'm ready for that now?
Um, it's actually interesting question. I really think that in some parts of the test you're ready,
Mm-hmm.
especially speaking and listening.
Mm-hmm.
Listening is you're not ready yet, but
Yes, I
in
think
terms
to
of
that.
in terms of in terms of the general assessment, you are 69% ready to get between 6.5 and 7.5. However, comma, there are a few things that we should bear in mind and take in consideration and be very careful too. You haven't done the listening test yet, which has been which has been a task that I've been asking you for a long time, and I'm not coercing you to do it. You just need to do it whenever you have time to do it. For writing, I see some steady growth. This is task number 2. We still haven't covered task number 1. Reading and writing, we're still growing in this perspective, and listening, we're doing that naturally right now. I'm just taking note of what you said. I've noticed that you've had some grammatical problems that I'm taking care of here. I'm writing them so I can collect some training worksheets to help you overcome them. For listening, you need to give me an indicator of where you are so I can plan ahead. And also, we have the case of reading. We need to train you on how to read fast and process faster and respond faster. And this is taking, again, a lot of time. I want to push for the test because that is going to give you much better obligation. Yes. This is going to give you a better obligation to be disciplined with the course, and also bear in mind that there is a deadline for you to be ready to take the test and see. Generally speaking, and I've heard this from multiple people, that IELTS does not guarantee you get the demanded and required score from one attempt. So since you've done the test before, maybe this is a good opportunity to retake the test and ace it and get the correct score. Let's I mean, I don't know why I see 4 people opening the document. It's just me and you. However, let's forget about that. Okay. Let's see here.
Yes.
What? Some people. Are you on the document? I go to the last page.
Yes.
Page 7.
I am.
So I will say, come here. Do you see come here?
Yes.
Okay.
Missing E.
There is a little bit of delay in the recording, so just keep that in mind. Do you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
I want you to read the word that I'm highlighting now.
Some.
Okay, perfect. Now we are on the same page. Well, tell me what's going on in this essay. Like, how is task 3 different from task 2 and task 1? What have you changed? What kind of things have you made? What kind of corrections? What did you write? Tell me in details. You have around 10 minutes to walk me through a presentation style of what you wrote in this essay and why you wrote it. And I'll give you some feedback on a paragraph by paragraph, starting from the first one.
Okay. Well, I think that this attempt or this task different from the first one, because the first one I didn't know the style of PI, which was the presentation, the presentation intermediate paragraph and giving examples. I was using my own style in writing, which was sometimes full with mistakes. But in this task, the task 3, after maybe 2 trials in the task 1, 2 or 3 trials in task 2, and this is the first one, maybe after 6 or 7 trials in writing, I think I'm following the instructions of PI very well. Also, this task different from the first one, that nowadays when you are giving me a task, I'm going to Google it and looking for the other models to expand. Yes.
Yeah,
Um,
I love your style. Okay.
Thank you. For looking for another models. Why? For expanding my
Just
list of words.
let me cut you in here.
Mhm,
What you're doing and what you need to do, because we have very limited amount of time before taking the test.
mhm,
Usually, and this is really thing that succeeded with me
mhm,
and just worked out with me.
mhm,
Imitation,
mhm,
assimilation, and reproduction.
mhm.
Um, this is a process, I call it. Let me just write it here.
Yes.
It's imitation,
Imitation.
and then we go to assimilation
Mhm,
or synthesis and reproduction.
mhm,
And in the imitation level, you just imitate, you copy and paste what not copy and paste, but you imitate, you just
mhm.
make a copy or similar
Of a word or a
of
sentence
how
I have
people,
read
yeah,
somewhere.
muhakat. And
Yes.
then assimilation is where you synthesize the product, you start to understand it.
Mhm.
اللي هو احنا نسميه um, ما اعرف يسميه بالعربي, sorry.
الاستيعاب الاستيعاب.
And then reproduction, where you start producing your own.
Mhm.
I'm trying to grab a pen. I don't know where it is. Anyways,
Mm.
and then the reproduction, you start producing your own sample. And this
Oh,
is what
okay.
you need to do, because we don't have time to go through writing process and read everything that a
Mm.
high school child
Yes.
has gone through to get to a level of good writing style. Anyways,
Mhm.
let's just stop here and talk a little bit about uh, the introduction here.
Okay.
I'm focusing on the introduction
Mhm.
because this is the part that gives the most impression about what's coming in the next.
Mhm.
Um, if the introduction is good, the whole essay is good. If the introduction is fucked up, the
Mhm.
whole essay is fucked up.
Mhm.
So just to put it bluntly like this,
Mhm.
you need to be careful and really think over the
Mhm.
introduction. It's the essential element. It's the core. It's the
Mhm.
heart. It's
Mhm.
the beating pulse. It's the treasure. It's the origin. It's the source. It's the basic foundation of the essay. Essay
Mhm.
if the essay has a very poorly written introduction, the whole essay collapses. The
Yes.
whole essay collapses. So
Mhm.
to be fair in discussing this issue,
Mhm.
listen, okay, I'm not giving you a time to talk,
Mhm.
but um, I'm I'm hyper excited. I'll just
Mhm.
highlight a few things, but you need
Mhm.
to bear in mind that the
Mhm.
style of writing and introduction is just kind of similar in
Mhm.
the academic atmosphere.
Mhm.
And we've gone through the process of talking about the introduction in multiple times, and you need to turn your cell phones on silent just for 15 minutes.
Yes. Yes.
Um,
Yes.
and
Mhm.
you need to be very careful with the introduction, just the introduction, just focus on the introduction.
Mhm.
Because honestly, I worked as a test evaluator, and if I just read 3 lines and I don't like them, this impression will not make me like the whole thing that comes after. Why?
Okay.
Why? Because if
Wow.
I get a bad impression about the person from 1 line, this is going to cheat my mind, to trick me to think that the whole writing is wrong, like there's something wrong about it.
Mm.
And I'll start looking for any kind of affirmation and confirmation to what I believe in. So just make my first belief of the writing good, to avoid using ambiguous and vague words like issue.
Mhm.
When you say the word issue without introducing the issue before,
Mhm.
you're just telling people that you are confused.
Okay.
You get my point? Let's just focus on this part, because it's not about the quantity here. It's about the quality. You see what I'm highlighting here?
Yes, I see that.
This is the only thing that we will talk about tonight. And you will understand how complicated it is, even if it looks like 3 lines. Yeah, just tell me what you wrote here.
And this introduction?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I remember that you grabbed my attention about do not use issue without introducing what you are talking about.
But
yes.
I'm sorry, I'm just hushing you out multiple times. We have task achievement, we have cohesion and coherence, we have lexical diversity, and we have grammatical range.
Yes.
And accuracy.
Yes.
These are the 4 items. Let me just write them here. Task. And okay, now how is this introduction achieving any one of the items here? To be fair in discussing this issue, we have to know where the taxes would be spent. Are used in many areas to organize people's lives and make them more comfortable. For example, to support medical research, teaching system development, and public services. What I do have comment here is when you say the word this issue, you haven't mentioned what the issue is. Like أنا أجيك وأقول لك اليوم المسألة اللي نناقشها معقدة، اللي أنا وياك تحدثنا عليها. تقول لي يا مسألة، راح أضطر أقول لك موضوع الأزمة المالية. موضوع الأزمة المالية اجت دالة لاحقة احنا نسميها. فهذا النقطة. We have to know where the taxes should be spent. Like, why do we have to know where the taxes should be spent? This is question number 2. Taxes are used in many areas to organize. Like here, do I have to know where the taxes are going to be spent? Or do I have to know that the taxes are used in areas to organize people and you're just telling what the taxes are? But look at the question. First important element of understanding and getting higher score is to understand the question. That's why I told you read it multiple times. Some people believe that parents of children who attend private schools should not need to contribute to state schools through taxes. Personally, I completely disagree with the view. Some people believe that parents of children who attend private schools should not need to contribute to state school through taxes. احكي لي بالعربي شنو معناها؟
بعض الناس يعتقدون أنه العائلات أو الأطفال اللي يروحون إلى المدارس المدارس الخاصة، فآباء الأطفال اللي يرتادون المدارس الخاصة ليس عليهم المشاركة في دفع ضرائب تعود بعدين إلى المدارس الحكومية. شخصيا أنا لا أتفق مع هذه وجهة النظر.
هسه أنت تقول personally I completely disagree with this view. I completely disagree with this view.
This is my question personally. This personally refer to me or to the one that who are talking with me?
To the one
who's
you're talking to, and this is an argumentative the speaker, eiltس agency.
Yes.
هذا يعني يسموه argumentative essay. Okay. اللي هي مقالة جدلية.
أنا استخدمت هذا العنوان بالنهاية أعدت صياغته حتى أقول إنه أنا لا أعتقد، يعني أنا غير موافق أيضا.
Okay. I understand you.
اوكي.
هسه فهمنا السؤال مو على التاكسز.
Yes, of course.
السؤال بيفيك لوفة انه انت تشوف كلمة تاكسز، بس هي الموضوع مو على التاكسز. الموضوع اهل الاطفال اللي دا يحضرون المدارس الخاصة ما يحتاج يقدمون معونات للمدارس العامة بالدولة عن
صحيح.
طريق الضرائب.
هو هذا السؤال.
وأنا أعتقد أنه هذا الشيء نهائيا مو صحيح.
تمام.
أوكي. هسه أنت تعتقد أو ما تعتقد، إحنا content of the essay لازم يكون مع أو ضد بهاي النقطة وليش. فأنت هنا بالintroduction, to be fair in discussing this issue, we have to know where the taxes should be spent. Why do we have to know where the taxes should be spent? You just need to give a justification whether you agree or disagree with the person that parents of children who attend private schools should not need to contribute to states. هسه تتفق لو تختلف؟
أنا أختلف. المفروض أنه ندفع الضرائب.
أوكي، اكتب لي هنا. اكتب لي هذه تشوفها، هذه أعد صياغتها. لا مو هنا. here.
اوكي.
هذا ملخص. انت هنا ايش راح تقول لي؟ راح تعيد لي paraphrasing، تسوي لي هذه النقطة بالاتفاق او بالرفض.
I don't want to use completely the same
word.
but
You're selfish. That's why you all say I.
No. Let me use another word. How can I say, how can I express about my feeling without using I? In my opinion,
Osama, I think the issue is you need to understand what I want before trying to write down. It's not about in my opinion. I'm sorry to delete your comment. I said I want you to paraphrase this. So
okay.
An example of this here, of this statement here, we can just reverse it. A very, very good trick is to reverse it. These are state schools through taxes. So, for example, state schools are in huge or in deep need to private well of families to contribute to the public schools to sustain the education system and maintain
their duty.
Yeah, their societal commitment or responsibility. I'm not saying or. I'm just you're saying slash respond society. So what I'm doing here, I'm just rephrasing that by shifting back and forth. Now here, this is not the statement. The statement should be like this. It is. I don't want to say the statement because I want you to contribute. Let me just try to see what you can do.
State schools are in deep need to private well-off families to contribute to the public schools to sustain the education system and maintain their societal commitments. Respond Respond, do you mean respond in this word? Respond? Respond?
Mm-hmm.
Respond?
I don't know. You're talking to yourself right now.
Okay. I'm just rereading it. Respond to society. Well, your sentence is very complete of meanings for me, so I'm not finding the words to complete it. Maybe I can use the second line. Taxes are used in many areas from my sentence, from my paragraph. Taxes are used in many areas. But you are saying that the keyword is the parents, not the taxes. So schools are deep need to private well of families to contribute to the public schools to sustain the education. Maybe society is society. I can say, oh, sorry. Maybe like that would be the introduction.
Well, yeah, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, don't use the word so. Just use another
Okay.
word. The word so is kind of informal.
Okay. What word I have to replace by?
You know them. Therefore, thus, additionally, for the more,
Okay.
moreover, there's big bunch of them.
Okay.
Taxes that may aid the state schools. We talked about the word very.
Mm-hmm. Ah, yes. Yes.
Here, continuous payment
Mm.
of taxes may aid the state, but instead of saying continuous, you can say sustainable payment of taxes may aid or can lead or will lead the state. Now, the question is this leading us to achieve a good introduction to our statement؟ لأنه هنا لازم نقول أنه يعني بعد سطر لازم نتحدث أنه الأشياء اللي تخلينا نوافق أو نختلف بس لازم نخليها على شكل statement هنا. وهذا statement لازم يكون كلش واضح وكلش دقيق بهاي النقطة تحديدا. أنه whether you agree or disagree or whatever يعني it's up to you. Okay. You say because you understand me or because you're okay?
No, I'm understanding you, but I'm thinking about the shortened sentence that express about the meaning that we are talking about.
I'm just giving you a chance to think a little bit more about it.
Mhm. Therefore, sustainable payment of taxes may aid the state school will be, I have to replace very, very useful. I prefer to delete therefore from the X sentence and
Mm-hmm.
make it,
And what kind of alternative do you have in mind?
maybe I will not use anything and make it making starting with sustainable payment of taxes may add the state school and use therefore here.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, um, I want to say that um I stand with the concept talking about with the concept that saying that we have to pay taxes whatever they are going and maybe there are fields using these taxes, but we are not using it like the fire fighting police, like such as I put it in my paragraph later. Um, can I use in my opinion here?
Just use in my opinion, temporarily.
Mhm.
I'm just saying temporarily because we might
Yeah.
have we may change it later on. It
Okay.
depends.
Okay. Therefore, in my opinion, paying. Um, sorry, no, we are not talking about taxes. In my opinion, we said parents of children who attend private, but we used well-off families. So I have to use another synonym of the rich families. I will use
Mm.
rich families. Therefore, in my opinion, put a comment, rich families, uh, or, or I will use it is better that rich families um, continue paying taxes for the benefit of the state. Okay.
Well, this seems much, much better
Mm-hmm.
than the one that you just wrote in the beginning, and
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a kind of like standing on its own right now. It's still taking shape and it's still growing, but it hasn't reached the potential expected level that I have in mind.
Mm-hmm.
So I recommend that you give it a little bit more thought.
Okay.
Um, and keep in mind that you only get 40 minutes to write
Mm-hmm.
this. And what we're doing here is not and might not be necessarily exactly a copy of the kind of circumstances that you will go through in the test because
Mm-hmm.
you might be under pressure.
Mm-hmm.
There might be some distraction going on. There might be other complicated issues out there. So just keep that in mind and
Mm-hmm.
remember that you only get 40 minutes to write this, so you need to really think about it carefully.
Okay.
Now, at this point, I have to stop.
Mm-hmm.
We need to finalize our meetings for tonight and then resume sometime this week,
Mm-hmm.
whenever you are available, and we need to plan that ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I want you to finish this and the listening test and send me the score so we can see
Of course, I will do.
where we are heading.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Sounds good?
Yes, sounds be good.
Okay, perfect. Enjoy your evening with your family, and
Thank
I confirm to me whenever you finish this, maybe tonight or tomorrow, whenever you are free.
Inshallah, I will do.
Okay. Thank you so
Thank you,
much,
but
and looking
thank you,
forward to
وليد.
see you soon. Habibi.
Inshallah. Thank you. Thank
Have
you.
a wonderful night. Bye-bye.
Thank you for you too. Thank you. Bye bye.